Go, go, go. Going, 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 going. I'm ready. I'm on, you know, when the DJ is doing it on the radio.
Right, we are live.
Going, going, going live. Woo woo. It's a Tuesday.
I often wonder how they have coped, really, DJs in radio stations with the advent of the internet and the webcams and all the rest of it, where suddenly they're on show and they weren't before. And to be honest, they could turn up like we did for lockdown, looking a complete and utter scruff and hungover, and just as long as they put the right amount of enthusiasm and play the correct records without swearing, it's all good.
And it was all the people that had a face for radio, wasn't it?
Yeah, which is what my dad says I've got.
Daddy, that's naughty.
Isn't it? They've been to visit today. They brought Jake's birthday presents earlier. So.
Oh, cool. Is it his birthday today or tomorrow?
It's today. His dad sent him a text saying happy birthday yesterday, which I found amusing. And he said, do I tell him? And I said, no, it's fine. They've been shielding for 12 weeks. They've probably not got a clue what day it is.
It's lucky he knows it's June.
Well, he kind of got the date right. He sent another message today.
Well, I always think it's better to be early than late.
I think it was last year. I got a message, I think it was June or July. Good morning, beautiful. Sorry I had to leave you to go to work today. You are the love of my life. Blah, blah, blah. Hope you have a happy birthday. Can't wait for our meal tonight. Kiss, kiss, kiss. And I just replied and went, wrong wife. It was Rachel, Jake's stepmom's birthday. It wasn't mine.
I love it. At least he'd kind of remembered there was something significant about the date.
I think it was because we'd been discussing some stuff about his college, and I must have been the last person he'd sent a message to, and probably 9 times out of 10 it's Rachel.
Yeah.
And he just didn't look, he just replied to the latest message. So, I think that's what it is. But I did have a great deal of amusement over that particular one.
That is funny.
I'm liking the t-shirt today.
Do you like it? Mercury and May and Taylor. And if I squeeze up, you can see Deacon just on the bottom.
Oh, yes, you have a little bit of a Deacon, haven't you?
I have a little bit of a Deacon, but Deacon's getting hidden in the 7 bellies at the minute. Yeah.
No one will know. I'm attempting to hide mine with my knitting and fell into it.
Let's have a look. Is this Edie?
It is Edie.
Edie's coming along lovely.
Well, a bit inches into the body.
Edie looks like my perfect project.
It's really easy and it's very simple to adapt if you want to add length, width or whatever. It's really
you know how much I love to just sit and knit in the round though, don't you?
Well, the only thing you have to remember on the side markers is your first stitch after the side marker is a purl for like a 4 seam.
Yeah.
And at the moment I'm doing some princess shaping for the lower body. It tells you where to put the markers for that, and they don't need to do as many increases perhaps as I might like to. But
it's all personal preference.
It is. We just want to skim those curves, don't we, and not grip them like a vice.
I love it.
So did you get all your shopping done?
Yeah, I think I got everything this week. Yeah, where did we go? We went to B&M yesterday to do the bits and bobs of food in there that the kids like. You know, stuff like Twinkies and
noodles.
Caitlin's got noodles coming out of her ears. Bits and bobs like that. And I went in the garden centre bit because I wanted some pots. I've decided all my plants are now going in pots because I've spent quite a bit of money on some really nice plants that I love, like my hydrangea and my fuchsias, and I've got a peony. I've just got the root of the peony, so I've just potted that. And I'm thinking I don't want to put them in the ground because I'm planning to move house in about 3 or 4 years, and I'd have to dig them all up. I don't want to leave them behind.
No.
And I don't want to dig them up because it's a bit mean, really. It's a bit stressful for them. So I thought I'll just get a load of big pots. So we went into the garden centre bit, and it had been decimated. It was a bit like the shelves at the beginning of lockdown where there was no food and you couldn't get any eggs for love nor money, and there was barely any pots. I managed to get a couple. But Callum's not good company in a garden centre. He turns into Kevin. As soon as you even like veer towards the garden bit, so Caitlin's a much better shopping companion for garden stuff.
Well, Jake will quite enjoy the garden store.
Well, see, your Jake likes to grow his chilies and things.
He does.
Callum's got no interest. Callum just sees gardening as work. So,
well, he's not wrong.
Well, he's not wrong. But he doesn't get involved like Caitlin, as she picked a couple of flowers actually, and she saw a jasmine that she really liked, and I said that we could get it once we're all organised and we've got the stuff. I'm not having it just sitting there. You know, once we're organised in the garden, we can go and get it. Then that's fine. So she'll pick plants that she likes, and you know, you say the name of something, she's like, oh, I like those. So she kind of has a bit of an idea and an interest. Callum's just interested.
It's the birthday boy, just wondering.
You have to sing happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Did he appreciate that?
Says thank you very much.
Has he got a cake?
He has got a cake.
Shares?
He doesn't think it'd survive in the post.
And also, is it gluten-free and milk-free?
It isn't, I'm afraid. It's a standard Victoria sponge, 2 layers, with the thickest wad of vanilla buttercream that you could imagine. About 1 inch of buttercream in the middle.
So mean to me.
What, love? Right, okay. He's taking some with us. He's off to Rosie's for a while.
See, I deserve cake. And Paul tried to kill me this morning.
What, on your run?
Yeah, so I got up 5 o'clock.
She looks the type.
She is the type, I'm telling you. She keeps talking about patios and stuff. Taya. She literally, I got round there at 7 o'clock this morning after having walked the dog already. And by which, you know, I had to chase him through the fields because he caught another rabbit and he actually ate half of it this time. So I wasn't in a good mood. Turns up at Anne's at 7 and she's like, oh, we'll run to the Curly Whirly Bridge. So she ran us to the Curly Whirly Bridge, and then because there was me, Anne and Elaine, and you have to run up. Do you know the ones that they haven't got the stairs, they've just got the curly whirly bit?
Want the Tupperware back.
So you're going up, and she's making us go fast up, and then once you get to the top you can run slowly down and then come down the curly whirly bit down. She made me do that 4 times.
It's probably really good for you though.
4 times.
Well, you know, be glad it wasn't 5.
Anne Hall is not my friend.
I think she is. She's looking after your heart, hell.
My dad says your heart only has so many beats. Why do you want to waste them?
Yeah, possibly. So he's gone with one of my favourite Tupperwares stuffed with cake.
No wonder you said it back. But isn't there a tradition that you can't bring a container back empty?
I'll message Rosie's mum and just casually mention that.
Yeah, it's bad form. It's bad form to return a Tupperware empty.
Oh well, we'll see what Tracy won't have in the cake because she's gluten-free and she's allergic to dairy and.
Well, you know, I'm sure she can rustle up something, little baby Bell or something.
She'll have made him an almond cake or something like that. So there'll be something there for him, I'm sure. They treat him like he's one of their own. I feel like at times I borrow him back.
Yeah, you're not allowed him full time anymore.
Yeah, but you know, it's no bad thing. You want to know that your kids are looked after and loved by the people in their life, don't you?
Shows you've done a good job.
So, you know, I'm a bit puzzled by Slimmy Mo because our consultant said, oh, there's this challenge for body magic sort of being active. And she posted today saying video for day 2 is up now. Where? It's not on Facebook. Can't find it on Instagram. It's not on YouTube, and it's not on the website. So I'm a bit baffled as to where exactly it is. So I've sent her a quick message to say,
Maybe
there's a clue. I'm not seeing it on the new website, and I'm starting to wonder if it's just me.
Might have forgotten to put it up. Might have just sent the message out randomly. I don't know.
I don't know. Apparently the lady's using a step.
Oh,
I do have a Reebok step in the garage.
do you remember when those were all the rage in the 90s?
Well, yeah, and I think my favourite step video is the one with Victoria Wood, where she's the fitness instructor.
Oh, I love Victoria Wood. She was just a genius, wasn't she?
And it's just one of the funniest things ever because of the moves that she does and what she calls them all and how ridiculous it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she must have been reasonably fit herself to be able to do this.
She wouldn't have been able to otherwise, no.
Because I'd have been on the floor.
Yeah.
What she's doing.
Trying to talk and everything as well.
Well, and joking about your pelvic muscles and don't wet yourselves on this bit. And
just mention that and I would have done.
Yeah,
love it.
Brilliant.
So Anne Hall's turned up.
Is this the one, the murderous Anne Hall?
Yeah, this is the murderous Anne Hall. Anne Hall daren't show her face after trying to kill my flipping gluteus maximuses this morning, young lady.
She'll probably be lovely and firm.
Well, my nickname is Barbara, so I have to be pert to be Barbara.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know. Do you want to see my nearly faux?
Go on.
Right. This is how far we've got. Can you see that?
Oh, have you got ruffles on one side?
We have got ruffles on one side. I'm a little bit disappointed that I've been too busy to get both ruffles done, but yeah, they're all on. They're secured. And then I have just picked up on this side, the first ruffle on this side.
You did just do a ton of increasing.
Yeah, you pick up on the purl bumps, and then you purl one side and then knit with increase on the other side, and I think it's like 5 rows or something like that, I'm not sure. And then where your raglans are, you just attach the edges, you just sew them together there. So I don't know, can you see that?
Yeah.
So you secure them down on the raglan edge, and it's really simple but effective. I mean, when I got the pattern, before I got the pattern, when I was looking at the pictures, I just literally could not work out in my mind how those were going to work. My only concern is babies can have chubby arms, and I don't know, I'm a little concerned. Do we think that might be big enough for a baby's arm?
You could always cast off with a larger needle, unpick.
I did do that.
It should be fine.
Well, what I'll do is I'll tell my stepdaughter if when baby comes it doesn't go over the arm.
If it's a fatty.
Yeah. Well, baby number 1 was over 10 pounds. Yeah. But this is the 3-month size.
Was that a natural birth?
Yeah, with the old
the Vontus.
Yeah. So
God, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, he wouldn't come out.
I bet that stung.
Yeah.
Every woman watching this is sort of going.
Well, mine was 7.9 and 7.7, so I can't imagine an extra £3 on top of that.
Some friends of ours, after I'd had Jake, and she said, "Oh, I'm thinking that if we ever have children, that I'm going to have hypnosis for the pain because I don't like the idea of taking drugs. And I've never ever bothered to ask, but I'm absolutely certain that 10 minutes in she'll have been going, "Give me the drugs."
I should imagine.
I think it takes a very strong person to be able to.
I just had
when you know that they're on hand and you can have them.
Yeah. To be fair, I didn't want the epidural because I have heard of a couple of bad stories. My sister-in-law had a bad epidural, and my mum, not for when she was having a baby, but she did have an epidural for something else and has left her with issues. So I didn't want to go anywhere near that. I was already being sick with Callum, and they say that pethidine can make you feel sick, and I was already being sick, so I didn't want any pethidine. And they didn't, I mean, there wasn't really many other options, so I just stuck with the gas and air with him.
I remember Jake's dad saying, you know, as I'm sat like Darth Vader going, and him going, "You only take that when it hurts." And I just took the mask off and I said, "When you're farting a football, we'll discuss pain relief." and that was the last time he mentioned it.
Yeah, too right. How rude.
And then afterwards, I think it was Richard and Judy on the morning show.
Yeah.
They were talking about childbirth, and he said, without being indelicate, there's an awful lot of stretching of the skin and stuff down there. I don't suppose a man can possibly imagine it. And this woman who was being interviewed said, "Well, take your top lip like that. Said, "Okay, fold it over the back of your head." And he just sort of dropped his lip and went. I thought that was the best description ever.
Well, actually, I think there's probably a better one. Something to do with the foreskin might actually make them wince a little bit more if we could come up with one, which I'm sure we could if we tried, but we won't go there today.
Use it as a cover for the bonnet of your car.
Yeah. Something along those lines.
Or just whip it out and we'll go camping in it.
This is a lovely conversation for a Tuesday afternoon, isn't it?
It is. And on that classy note, I am still knitting Edie by Isabell Kraemer. I'm about 8.5, 9 inches maybe into the body. Probably be about 16 inches long from the arm.
Where do you like it?
I like it to fit between high and top hip, never on the widest point. So either go below the hip or just above it. But below the sort of belly poot.
Right.
If I had one.
I'm making, well, this one is called Edith. You're Edie and I'm Edith.
How bizarre is that?
How bizarre is that? And I can never say Jenny's name. Jenny, is it Weave or
Weber?
Weber. Yeah. Jenny Weber.
I'm assuming it's German origin, in which case it would be Weber.
Right, okay. But it's a lovely pattern. I got it in the gal.
It's really pretty.
And I also did buy a pattern this week. I bought.
What did you get?
I bought the Stepping Stones cardigan because it was on sale.
Oh, yeah.
The sale ran out, I think, today. So that might have accidentally gone through my husband's bank account.
He won't notice.
Not at the moment, not with all the money that's going through for Caitlin's birthday presents, Callum's birthday presents, and the garden.
It'd be fine.
He won't notice. To be honest, he doesn't tend to question anything until it gets to about 40 quid. That's round about the start when he starts saying, what have you bought here?
You just need to make lots of smaller purchases.
Exactly. It's fine. I haven't bought any of the other patterns for my cottons yet. We have to spread these out so they don't get picked up, you see.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's sensible. And it's not, a Fable isn't on sale at the moment, is it? So it's not like you're not missing a discount or
no hurry at the moment. So yeah, that can wait. And then also, what were the other ones that I was going to go for? Oh, I can't remember. There were a few.
lemonade or some.
Yeah, I was going to go for the lemonade top, wasn't I? Yeah. So,
Did you wear the blue yarn?
oh, do you know, I knew there was something I was supposed to do. No.
Okay.
I would do it now, but I don't know where I think it's in the drawer.
I wonder how much birthday cake I can get away with sneaking without it looking really bad. Now that he's not here. I made some masks for my parents.
Yeah.
She sent through some old, well, they weren't old pillowcases. They were single duvet sets that I buy for the dog bedding.
Yeah.
Because they have single duvets that are folded over to make 4 layers of their bed. And I put them into duvet covers because it just stops them scratching them all to bits and chewing them apart.
Yeah.
For at least a few weeks longer. Not
forever,
because they all end up in the bin at some point, sadly. But I always have loads of pillowcases. So there was a black sort of damask floral, black and cream. So I made a mask for my dad with that, and then I was cutting out and sorting one for my mum, and then I sewed it all together, and that stupid suicidal presser foot on the machine kept jumping off, but no other disasters. And then I looked at mum's and thought, I've cut it out the same size as my dad's. And he's got a considerably bigger head. Mum's like me, she's got quite a small head. So I thought, what do I do? Because I've sewn all the pleats into the side and everything now and put the elastic on, and thought, what do I need to do? So I looked at it and I thought, well, if I sort of fold it in and make a pleat to take about 1 inch off the width as it goes over the face and do that as close to the side as possible,
yeah,
that'll be fine. So I managed to do it. And of course, with her eyesight, she can't tell. So my dad sort of looked and just raised an eyebrow.
And you said,
yeah. But Jake came out to say hello and say thank you. And he was on the doorstep in odd socks.
oh yeah,
I don't know what that's about. He's got 1 million socks. Unless he's selling them on eBay or something, and I don't know about it.
Right.
Stood there in odd socks, and we were talking about the new Aldi and having been last night and got the shopping because Rosie's mum lives just down the road and I'd picked him up. So we have to come out the junction where the supermarket is, so it made sense to go straight across and in there and get it done.
Yeah.
So that was all sorted, and we were sort of chatting about Aldi, and Jake said, oh, what, it should be quiet now. Why don't you call in on the way home? And the look on my dad's face was like, no.
Don't suggest that.
No, not more shopping. We're already going on Thursday. There's a couple moved into the vicarage by their church, well, old vicarage,
Yeah,
I call it now. Kat and Gareth, and he set up a bakery.
all right.
Got all his accreditations and his health and hygiene and licensing and insurance and all of that, and started last week. And they only take orders for delivery on a Wednesday or a Saturday. So she's ordered loaves of bread from him because they like the tin bread from Morrison's and then get it sliced, thick sliced.
Yeah.
The bakery counter. But the last few times they've been, they haven't had any of the bread. So then they've had to go to Asda's, and then Asda's don't slice it thick enough. And thinking, okay. So as soon as Gareth said he was opening the bakery, I said, why don't you order it from Gareth? You know, it's a 10-minute walk up the hill, and it'd do them good to walk up there and get it.
Yeah, a bit of fresh air.
So they ordered the bread from him, but he's doing afternoon teas and all sorts of other stuff for delivery on a weekend.
Yeah.
But only within a certain area, and if he has to go any further, there's more of a delivery charge. I did try and say to him he's not charging enough, but what do I know? 30 years in business.
You know nothing.
Yeah, so I've just sort of kept out of it really and thought, well, Not my choice, not my decision. I'll
No.
just smile and say well done. But I know Mum said that some of the bread and other things that he brought to the Christmas fair sold very, very quickly, and everybody said how lovely it was. So hopefully they'll do quite well.
Well, I think they've got lots of homemade baked goods, don't they? You can't beat it. And
Yeah.
that's why the Morrison's bakery does so well, because it's the closest you can get to homemade without it being homemade, really, isn't it?
It is.
It's like
and like so
stuff.
A lot of the bakers and whatnot in town have been doing deliveries, and you pre-order the previous day, pay on order, and they give you a time slot of when they're going to deliver it and what days they go to particular areas.
Sounds
sort all of that out. So people have been ordering things for, like, you know, they'll get a vanilla slice and a scone with jam and cream and other stuff, and have themselves a little afternoon tea or something as a treat. So I'm hoping that a lot of the people that have been doing this, because a lot of them are shielding, will continue to order their food from these local traders who've quite frankly pulled out all the stops to make it work for them. You know, it's like the market hall on the veg stall. It always makes me laugh, because if I'm going to get stuff from there, it tends to be peppers and cucumbers, because they're always really good quality and they're always really fresh. He's quite picky about what he buys. So I know it's going to be good, and while it won't be as cheap as Aldi, if it's for a particular thing, then that's what I want. And I've got a cucumber not long before lockdown, and he picks up the fruit and veg and shows you, and then it's all bagged. And he gets this cucumber, and he just sort of went like this with it and went, "That's a bit of a floppy doppy. You don't look like a woman who'd be satisfied with that," he says. "Let's get you a better one." And rummaging out with this cucumber. And I thought, well, I'm glad I came across as discerning.
You can't complain,
That's
can
how
you?
I'm choosing to see it, anyway.
Yeah. I think growing your own's the way to go personally, but you know.
Oh, I loved having tomatoes and cucumber in the greenhouse.
Yeah.
And we did grow a lot of courgettes.
Have you only got chilies in there at the minute?
We have, and one tomato plant.
Ooh.
Which is doing quite well.
My tomatoes have sprouted from their seeds. So I've got like probably about, I don't know, that much growth on about 5, I think. My cucumbers and peppers aren't doing anything at the minute.
Catch up.
But to be fair, I did get the seeds from stuff that I just bought in the supermarket to eat myself rather than actual seed packets.
Right.
So who knows? We'll see. It could make a difference.
Well,
I don't know.
Tomatoes have sprouted. That's something.
Yay, go tomatoes. I want a cold frame. That'll be next. Get my water butt and my composter.
Yeah, cold frame. And then you'll need
I need a garden shed.
Heated propagators and things like that.
Things like that. Yeah, I need a potting shed with electricity. And I'm going to get some fencing to put down towards the end of the garden, because I've cut the grass today and I'm sick of doing it down the end there. So I'm going to get some fencing, go across. That's going to be a meadow.
Right.
So it'll be fine. I won't have to cut it. Twice a year, spring and autumn. Sorted.
Before the bird's nest.
Yeah. But it's just going to be wildflowers, you know, like the poppies and stuff that you see.
Well, you can always throw wildflower seed into it.
Exactly. My husband says, "Oh, I don't think so." I'm like, "Yeah, right, whatever. You ain't here, mate. Sorry."
Yes, when you're home, we can discuss it. In the meantime, I'll do as I wish.
We're not really talking today.
Oh, what's up with him?
Oh, I don't know what is wrong with him. He rang. He's been ringing every single day, and I haven't got that much to talk about, and he's definitely got nothing to talk about. So he gets on the bike every afternoon, and he rings me while he's on the exercise bike. So he's been doing that every day. And then today he rang, and he's like, Oh yeah, you're right. I'm like, yeah, what you doing? Well, what do you think I'm doing? Well, I'm talking to you. Okay. Well, what else are you doing? Well, I'm on the bike, aren't I? Obviously. He's getting all funny like this. I'm like, all right, okay. You gonna go on the bike every day? Just trying to make conversation. Oh, I don't want to talk about it anymore. And he got in a right strop and put the phone down on me. I said to him, I said, if you're in a bad mood, why are you ringing me? I mean, it's quite a, I said, I'm just making conversation. Well, I don't want to talk about it. Okay. Well, what do you want to talk about?
I don't think Mike and I have spoke on the phone since April, maybe.
Yeah. That's a long time.
It's probably a good thing because we'd just be arguing because he'd be defending Boris Johnson and I'd be telling him he's an imbecile because he is.
Oh, I've just been watching him at lunchtime. It annoys me, actually. Why do they have to put the live Parliament on the BBC News channel when there is a BBC Parliament channel?
I don't know. I don't understand that. And
I put the news channel on while I was having my lunch because I missed the 1 o'clock news. It was 2 o'clock. I thought I'll put the news on while I'm having my lunch, just have a quick watch of it. But it's Boris Johnson in Parliament. And I'm like, if I wanted to watch that, I would put BBC Parliament on. I want to know the headlines. I'd like to see the weather. That's what the news channel's for, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's annoying. That's my rant for the day anyway. Did you enjoy that?
I did.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it?
I was watching Origins on Disney Plus earlier.
Oh, did you enjoy it?
It was quite good. I mean,
Callum doesn't like the guy.
He's a bit overexcited. The episode.
Yeah, that's what Callum says. He started to watch it with me, and he's going, I don't like that man. He's annoying.
Well, and he's on fire, and
you're just sitting there drinking your tea, and you'd go, oh.
Oh God, who was it on Facebook yesterday? Put this thing, and there's this girl. It's obviously something they've copied from TikTok. So there's a girl sat there, and the guy comes from the hallway, like the bathroom or somewhere, towards her, and puts the light out, and she says, "What's that?" And he puts the light on, and there's nothing there. And she says, "What's that?" And he puts the light back on, nothing there. But I'm sure I can see something. He puts the light back on. Nothing there, switches it off again, and then this sort of animated, scary, horrid zombie ghost thing goes whoa towards you. And I had a cup of tea and I went, whoa.
I hate those things.
There's one of like a bit like the beginning of the original Italian Job, where they're on a windy road, but it's a mountain road in America with the great big forest and things like this, and it starts telling you the story of like Ted and June or whatever they're called, and it's their wedding day and they're driving to their honeymoon and they get to this corner and then this zombie thing appears just as if from nowhere, but it led you down this story and you were lulled into this false sense of security, and then all of a sudden it went ah! In your face.
It's when it makes that noise. It's horrible.
And I nearly had a heart attack.
I don't like noise.
I thought my dad was going to die laughing because he was just hysterical.
Daddy is naughty. Your daddy is in the bad books.
He's used to it. He's married. He's in the bad books.
You know those windy roads? When we went to Mallorca the first time, we hired a car. So there was me, Phil, the two kids, Bert, his son, and his mum, Dolan. So 7 of us in this 7-seater, right? And Phil's driving up one of these mountain things, windy, and coming the other way are hordes and hordes of people on bikes, really, really fast next to the edge of the road. But I tell you what, no word of a lie, I was in the back of the car in tears. I literally was having a panic attack or something, because I was just so scared that we were going to come round a corner and go straight into a bike and he was going to go flying off the edge of the flipping mountain road.
I'm pretty sure that wouldn't have been your fault though.
I know, but I was just honestly in proper tears. I couldn't stop crying over it, and the kids were taking the mickey and laughing at me. I was like, I can't help it. It was like a panic attack, I think, to be honest. Horrible. I would never have driven up there
Yeah,
myself.
we hired a car the first time we went, but we never did again.
No.
It
Why is
wasn't
that?
a reflection on the roads or anything else. I think we just decided that we were going all inclusive. You might as well just to interrupt your drinking time.
Yeah. Well, we always get a villa. So we went to Mallorca once and we've been to Portugal twice. And I know we definitely hired a car in Mallorca. I can't remember about one time in Portugal we definitely didn't, and I can't remember about the other time. But they would only ever use it to go to the supermarket in the morning to buy loads of meat for the barbecue and more alcohol.
Right.
And then they were back and we'd just sit by the pool. Drink, drink, drink. It's what holidays are for, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, we just turn into Labradors on holiday because we're either eating, waiting to eat, drinking, waiting to drink, or on a walk.
Yeah. Or
I would
swimming.
say that now because they're asleep.
Don't say the W word.
Yeah.
Going on a jaunt.
Yes.
Going for a little promenade.
Constitutional is another common.
Constitutional, yeah.
Constitutional.
A little stroll along the promenade. And there's only one reason to go for one of those W things when you're on holiday, and that's to get to the next bar, isn't it?
Well, kind of. I do like to have a nosy though at sort of where people live and what it's like for the locals.
It's one of my favourite things to do on a run. We were doing that this morning, running past the houses, talking about their doors, whether we like their front doors or not, looking at the roses in the front gardens, wondering if they'd let us take a cutting. And Elaine actually went knocking on someone's door and asked them if they didn't want the wheelbarrow in the front garden anymore. And so she came away with a wheelbarrow full of garden chairs. She's going along the road. You just want to join us on one of our runs, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I always joke with Mike because he says that if I fell in a midden, I'd come out with a mouthful of Mars bar.
Well, you probably would, wouldn't you?
Because I'm always either finding stuff or being given stuff.
Yeah.
I've decided that that's what I need and it just turns up. But what he won't tell you is how he mistakenly was sent a load of appliances when he was in the process of moving abroad, and it arrived on the day they were packing up his house.
Right.
There he was already in France.
Yeah.
So the movers just signed for it all and packed it all up and off they went.
Ooh.
And it was the company selling it that had got completely the wrong address. I don't know where they got the address from. Well, of course, he was abroad then for 6 weeks or something. So
have you got them?
no, he got in touch with them and explained what had happened and said, well, they're over here now because she sent them and my movers were there and they assumed that it was something that was to come for me because it was addressed and delivered to me.
Right.
But he said, they're not anything I've ordered and they're not anything I've paid for, so what are you going to do? But they'd worked out it was going to cost them almost as much to bring them home. And then they said, oh, well, when are you driving home next? And he said, well, I'm not planning to come home for quite a while. I've moved here for a reason. This is where I work.
Yeah.
But the removal costs of getting them back would have just been ridiculous. So in the end, they just sent him a letter and said, keep them. So whenever he says to me, oh, God, you get everything,
Just
I
remind
always say, yeah, house full of white goods.
Exactly. Did I tell you I ended up with more of that chocolate?
You said you thought there was another delivery coming out that shouldn't have been.
I had an email saying your order's on its way. And then I meant to ring them or something on the Friday, but what with all the dramas, I never got round to it. So on the Saturday, I'm in the front garden putting some stuff in the bin, and the postman brings a box of chocolate, doesn't he? So, for crying out loud. So I got on the internet and I had a look at my, signed in and everything, just to double check. And it's definitely said, you have no subscriptions. And I looked at my past orders, and my last one was in May, and it didn't even say anything about this one that just turned up on Saturday. So I got on the live chat with the woman and said, this chocolate's turned up, I don't want it. What do you want me to do with it, sort of thing? And she's like, oh, let me check. And then, and I'm saying to her, can you check that my subscription is cancelled and it's not just showing that to me? And she's saying, yeah, your subscription's cancelled. You've just received it in error. And I was like, right, okay. So have I been charged? And she's like, well, you won't have been. I was like, well, won't have been, haven't been, not quite the same. And she's like, oh, well, just if you do get charged, just let us know and we'll refund it. So I was like, well, what do you want me to do with this chocolate then? And she said, oh, I'll send you an email. Well, I haven't heard from him. So I gave it to Callum. Because it'll probably cost him more to get it back. It was 20 quid's worth of chocolate.
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
I know. So anyway, because I said to her, I said, well, I don't want it. I said, it's full of additives and it makes my stomach cramp. So I don't want it. And it tastes disgusting. I don't think she was very impressed with me.
It did look good. Obviously, a triumph of marketing over substance.
Well, the problem is that it's the whole thing is, oh, it's only 5% sugar and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, fine, you've taken all the sugar out, but you filled it with awful stuff. Instead of, that cheap chocolate that I've got, 30p a bar, what's in there? Sugar, cocoa butter, and that soya, whatever you call it, right?
Lecithin, yeah.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 ingredients. That expensive chocolate had a list of ingredients to try and make up for the fact that they'd taken all the sugar out.
Yeah, it's not good, is it?
So I'd rather have 2 squares of that a day and know that it doesn't upset my tummy. And okay, so fine, it's got sugar in, but that's my call out. I know it's got sugar in. Just take it easy. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
It looked lovely. The dark chocolate one was really nice, but it tasted like cherry, not plain dark chocolate. It tasted like cherry chocolate, which, to be honest, is one of my favourite combinations. So if it didn't give me stomach cramps, I'd have just had a whole box of that, to be honest. Exactly. I love cherry chocolate.
I do like cherries.
I don't think
mostly in Black Forest Gatto, but
my mum used to get Black Forest Gatto off the milkman and a Death by Chocolate every Christmas.
I used to love Death by Chocolate.
And all the bottles of fizzy pop. It was the only time of year we were allowed a bottle of fizzy pop. She used to get one of each flavour, like the cherryade and the limeade and everything. And once it was gone, it was gone. And that was it for the whole year. We didn't get any for another year.
Occasionally, Mum would do pecan pie.
Oh, I love a pecan pie. Morrison's do a very nice gluten-free, milk-free pecan tart. So it's like pecan pie, but in a little individual tart thing. Those are nice. And I can eat them as well.
I think I had one when they were doing the 2 coffees and a snack for £5 thing in the cafe.
Did you like
in
it?
the days when we could go out.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it?
I did, but it was something like 29 cents for the little pecan pie.
No wonder
Yeah, so it was one of those where you kind of looked at it and thought, well, I'll just stick with my sugar-free jelly at 2 cents and a blob of yogurt and all through.
I used to be so much better when I was working, as in going out to work. I would not eat anything until probably about lunchtime. I'd have a little bit of fruit at my desk, banana and some grapes or whatever. I would come home and have my proper full cooked dinner probably around about 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon when I got in. I'd have one of those pecan pies or a cherry bakewell, and then I'd have my porridge in the evening, and that was all I was eating all day. And it was keeping the weight off. Well, now I think I've added about another 3 meals on top of that. No wonder my food bills have gone through the roof.
Yeah, well, I'm getting a tan off the fridge light, you know.
Like a sunbed.
Yeah, it's gone dull out there now. We're forecast storms later. Don't know whether it's actually going to happen. And to be honest, if it did, I wouldn't mind, because it's been a bit humid the last couple of days.
It's horrible.
And even I have had to resort to the summer weight duvet. Years since I've had to do that.
Just normally open all the windows and put the fans on.
Well, yeah, I had all the fans on, but even then, I just, couldn't do with it. And you can't not have a duvet, because then the under the bed monsters can get you while you're sleeping.
You need some kind of clothing and some kind of covering all year, all weathers. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, and it's your feet have got to be covered. I don't know whether I think ghosts have got a foot fetish or something.
I can get away with one foot covered. I can't have both feet out. Like I could put one leg out and that's it. That is it. Arms and one leg.
I fell asleep one hot night a lot of years ago when Poppy was a lot younger.
Yeah.
And she's been dead for 4 or 5 years now, bless her. But I must have fallen asleep and sort of thrown the duvet off, and I was sleeping facing into the middle of the bed, so my bed was hanging off the edge of the bed, and I was stark because it was a hot night. I just remember waking up shrieking as this cold, wet nose pressed itself between my butt cheeks and woke me up, and then sneezed all over my backside. Charming. Thank you very much.
Did let a little bit of a fart out or something, and that's why she was having
She's lucky I didn't crap myself. I screamed the house down.
Oh, it's lovely.
You have to have full covers on, feet tucked in, no appendages or other body parts hanging out. The only acceptable visible part of you is your head, possibly your neck. Nothing else on show. No.
I sleep with my arms out quite a bit. I usually sleep one leg out and the quilt tucked between my legs. I sleep in a weird way, don't I? It's a good job I sleep on my own 99% of the time, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm keeping one eye on the time. We have about a minute to go because Emma's got an appointment that she's got to sort out.
I've got a man coming to inspect my fallen down fence to see if he can do me a gabion wall.
At least that's what she's telling us.
Yes, that's the official line.
Yes, so she needs to get changed into a sort of boudoir dressing gown, push-up bra. Ready to get the quote.
You know this is going to start. Oh, there goes my alarm.
Yeah.
Say rude. Oh, well, we'll have to continue this talk on Thursday.
Yeah, have we got something on the agenda for Thursday? I can't remember.
On the agenda. If anybody has
any suggestions,
any burning questions, anything they'd like to share. I don't know, because we've done summer tops and we've done men. I won't say we did men's wear, we just did men because we just ogled at the men quite a bit, really, didn't we? Let's be fair.
Well, it had to be done.
Yeah.
Had to be done.
It's not quite Monty, but we'll take it. We've all got a bit of an obsession with Monty at the moment.
Well, you know.
We like a bit of Monty. So, yeah. Unfortunately, Monty is not coming to give me a quote for my garden.
Oh, somebody did say to me that Britain first, all of these fine young upstanding Nazis and fascists and racists are protecting a statue of George Eliot. And So apparently there's a meme doing the rounds on Facebook that says, are they protecting it from Jane Austen fans who don't like George Eliot and might daub it in black paint or something like that? Is that what they're protecting it from? Because nobody else had a problem with George Eliot, who of course was a woman anyway.
Yeah, a man's name to get published.
Yeah,
so that just goes.
I don't know what these imbeciles think they're protecting. Like, if they had two brain cells, I bet they couldn't rub them together.
But they couldn't. Idiots.
Honestly.
Oh yeah. So well, I will definitely have a faux.
Awesome.
For Thursday, and hopefully I'll be able to cast something else on. Do you think we might be able to get buttons now? I might have to go somewhere that they sell buttons.
Is the range open?
Yeah, but there's always a queue outside the range.
Okay.
Boys is open.
Shall I tell you my joke?
Go on then.
I phoned B&Q yesterday and I said to the guys, how big's the queue? So I heard him wander off, and then he came back breathless a couple of minutes later and he said, it's the same size as the bee.
On that note, I'm going, because that was a dad joke.
Yeah, I apologise for that one.
Keep your dad jokes to yourself.
All right. See you Thursday, everybody.